Captain Torrance, Flight Commander. How can I help you?
Jerry's dedication to the film is making sure that it delivers what's promised.
Flight turned the plane upside down. It's ridiculous, but it fucking worked.
Working with him, he brought out the best in me, and definitely others.
Like people just want to go home.
Growing up watching his movies, getting to be here, working with him, it's kind of surreal.
1 minute at a time.
You know, learning from other actors, taking those moments to watch and just listen and learn is priceless. You know, it's like the masterclass. So yeah, working with Gerard was just brilliant.
Okay, everybody follow Mr. Kelly.
He is a machine, I'll tell you what. But he wants it to be good at the end of the day.
I think Jerry, the first day, you know, he's a collaborative guy. You know, he's somebody who understands that this is something that everyone has to take a part in, and the film will only be as good as the people in the smallest parts and who's invested in. And you can see that. You need people off screen to still deliver. You need people who are in crowd scenes to still have the energy.
He's joking with everyone, cast, crew. You know, he's saying hi to everyone. You know, where energy is needed, he's bringing that energy and making sure everyone else is bringing it too.
You can't do a fucking sport?
Yes, sir.
I'm so yeah, give me one.
Put a t-shirt or a pair of shoes up there or something.
I think as the lead actor, it's one of my responsibilities, and as one of the producers on the movie, to do your best to make sure that everybody has as good a time as possible on set. That's really important to me.
Do you want to make it terrified?
Most of this movie is very, very serious. It's heavy, and he does that stuff incredibly well. But like they'll say cut, and then a joke comes out, and it like lightens the mood immediately, and the funny one-liner and the funny quip.
In fact, if you do encounter someone who's warm and gregarious when the camera turns off, consider yourself very lucky. And Jerry is one of those people. He wants you to do your best, and he also wants you to have fun, because you're not gonna make anything good if you're not having fun, and he gets that.
Making movies can be hard, it can be exhausting. Sometimes you're doing dark and emotional stuff, and everybody's tired, and you're working long hours and long days, and it just seems to never end, and maybe in inhospitable conditions, or like in Puerto Rico where it was incredibly hot and humid. So for me that might mean, you know, just making sure that you're going around laughing and joking with everybody, because you appreciate that everybody is working hard.
Every day he shows up, and even though it was a really tough shoot, he never really complained at all. He was always prepared, knew his text, knew exactly with what he was going into it, knew everyone's names, was very sweet to everyone on set, and really tried to have a conversation with all of us. And I think his work ethic really inspired all of us to really show up every day and give it our best.
Here, pass him down. Here, take another one. All right. Does anybody want more? One more water, please.
And I've worked on many sets when, and especially before I was a lead, you know, where the atmosphere wasn't good, and it's hell. It can really be hell if there's not a good atmosphere. And I've just always felt terrible to see people not being happy on set. So even if that means that you're running around with water, you know, passing it out, just to let people know that they're not being forgotten about, that they're being seen for what they do.
And, you know, not all movies are like that. Not all number one on the call sheet are like that.
I think it's especially hard there's a lot of crew, and they don't even know what the story's about, you know? They're the ones running about doing other things. They're not, at least as an actor, I get to be telling the story and know what's happening. I mean, some of them are just there day in, day out, and they don't even know what part of the story is happening or what. So I think it's good to let everybody know that they're all part of the family, and they're all an essential element of that. And that none of this would work if it wasn't for any of them.
No! I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Do it. I want you to.
And if that's the case, then we might as well have a bloody good time doing it, because when you are acting, you spend a hell of a lot of time at work.
Working with Jerry was definitely a dream come true, but also now understanding why people put him at such a level. He has such an eye for detail.
When there's no power, right? Which nicely leads me into the next bit, because I'm saying we need to get power back so we can draw it down from the battery. You know, if that happens, then maybe the transponder, we can get that working again. But
He knows exactly what he wants, and what he wants is usually really, really good. So
I realized that he was a collaborative artist and someone that wanted to get the best out of me, and he wanted to sort of make it work for both of us, so we could always trust that if we had ideas, we could share them, and that's great.
now here's the thing. The
Oh,
question
where's
is
that?
in the blocking, whether I walk away saying all that stuff.
yeah, I don't think he was just because later, when I'm packing up and I go, hey, they're gonna find a truck we can just get out and walk on foot, and he's like, you coming with me? That's another beef. So I think, I think so, right?
Yeah, I don't think we need that there.
First and foremost, he's an action star. He's done a lot more action movies than I have. And he's also had 30 years of experience under his belt. So not only is he an actor in this movie, he's also a creative producer. You know, he makes a lot of creative calls within the scenes. And I find the whole process of this film, of the plane, being very collaborative. There's no ego on set. It's everyone is there wanting to make the story better.
Actors, the scene needs to make sense to them. You know, some actors will have many questions about how they block a scene, how they do it, what their purpose is, why they're going through that door instead of that door. If that person is the producer as well, you know, it's not just about the scene, it's about more things than that. But
You like better? I think I prefer the fucking mad one.
Yeah, because when you leave him, you're like...
Exactly, and that's what I was doing, but I don't think the other one's working.
Aim it down because it's blowing sand, Because as a lead and a producer in a movie, you do want to get involved, and you want to make sure that you believe what you're seeing. You want the audience to be able to buy what you're seeing, because it's your face on screen, it's your product, and I think he's invested in it because it makes sense to be invested in something that ultimately is going to be a Jerry Butler movie.
Once I'm doing the plane stuff, and I feel like I make my speech to the passengers, and then it's up to them. I'm flying this fucking plane. Yeah. I actually, if they didn't get on that plane, I would leave.
Yeah,
you know, that's their choice. They want to fucking stay and deal with us, you know. But I also think that I know they'll get on the plane. Yeah.
As a producer, I get more of a chance to put more thought and preparation into the story. I've always been a bit like that myself anyway, really kind of attention to detail, perhaps a bit OCD. And I found that once I got into films that I had a chance to really ground a story, to make these fantastical stories often and then ground them, and you do that by attention to detail, because I'm often taken out of movies myself when I see something that is just convenient or lazy or not truthful.
My purpose is what? Just checking the plane? Checking, but more.
But these are discussions that do need to happen, because to get into a scene where the actor or the producer isn't confident that it's going to work, even if everybody else is, I think you need to work those things out before you commit to doing it, because you need to proceed together, believing that the thing you're going to do is going to work.
I mean, speaking of myself personally, after I directed my first film, my understanding of what my role was as an actor on a film completely transformed, because I realized there were so many parts of the filmmaking process that I didn't understand. At the same time, when I started directing and then after a while producing, my experience as an actor was just so incredibly helpful to the whole process of storytelling. And I realized that I knew a lot of things that, you know, directors and producers who don't come from an acting background just don't understand.
I like this guy. I get very obsessed in rounding everything and making it as real as possible, and then always searching for those moments that are either curious or surprising or emotional.
The guy was, you know, would think about every scene, even scenes he wasn't in, he would watch and be like, that doesn't make sense, or that didn't feel right, or we should adjust this. I mean, that producer credit with this movie is like, it is not because he's an actor. That is because he produced the movie. You know, he was active in every single scene and every line in that movie. He knew what was happening and what was going on.
I've worked on other films with actors, but I've never seen anyone at this level of detail, which is great, because I think that it bleeds to the rest of the cast on the movie, where they follow Jerry's example, and like the ability to keep up with that, because it's like whether we're at hour 1 of the shoot day or hour 12 of the shoot day, he's able to keep that intensity going while keeping the humor going at the same time, which is a balance that I couldn't manage.
I couldn't dream of a better first experience because I'm in I've been here on set for 2 months now, and I get to see how everything works. When I don't have dialogue myself, I get to see and observe, when Jerry's doing his scenes. It's like almost being in school.
He cares always, every day, for the most important thing we have to keep in mind. The motivation of each character. So, is it an actor job? Is it a producer job? I don't know. I don't know which part it is, because Jerry was involved everywhere. First to choose me too. And I will never accept a movie if I feel we don't want to do the same movie.
But so the radio, I smell it and go, done, melted, burned. And then the transponder, he goes, it's hard to tell without any power,
Like any discussion that he was having or wanted to have with Jean-Francois, with me, with any crew member, it was to do with the scene we were shooting. So it's relevant.
But every day on the set, we took the script, we read the thing, and it's okay, what is the motivation for him? What is for the most important thing? When you know the motivation, I think it's more important than camera movement, light. It's motivation, because audience care about characters. The characters tells the story. So every day, when you are tired, say, okay, maybe I will forget this. Jerry never. Never. So yes, I think he's an amazing producer and an amazing actor for sure.
I often, when I'm making movies, see myself as an audience member, and I think, we're taking them on a journey, and we want to make that journey as believable and as exciting and emotional or scary as possible. They're paying good money to go and see the movie, so I want to do the best job that I can. So I'm always looking for anything that we can be caught out on. So I guess that can be quite annoying to other people at times, but I can sometimes be the worst case scenario guy and say, we have to cover ourselves there. But then also looking for the moments of magic. What is it that's going to excite an audience or move them or be surprising or again, like I say, make it more visceral.
Once I start the engines, you have 2 minutes. I'll leave the stairs down.
Roger that.
I can't get on that plane with you, right?
Yeah.
As a producer on the movie, you look at those moments, and it is slowing you down, and the AD will look at you and give you the whole, we got to make our day. But you hear what's going on, and you're like, sometimes, to save to go into an hour of overtime, maybe it's better to go that extra mile and make it a little bit better by talking these things through.
It's one of the advantages of moving beyond an actor and be able to tell stories that you want and in a way that you would like. And I get to make everybody else crazy.